Manchester, England, Les Thornton. Across the ring from Arkansas in the white corner, at 230 pounds, Bob Burns. 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Your referee, Danny Fletcher.
And we come up to this bout now with Bob Burns and Les Thornton, and sitting in with me is David Manning, the referee, who does an outstanding job. David, a former amateur wrestler in his own right. And David, we're going to have you mention and talk about a few holds as these two young men, junior heavyweights, and involved in the junior heavyweight championship tournament, the kind of the wrestle off for the championship. And Les Thornton has it as his goal right now. The young man from England on his back is Bob Burns from Little Rock, Arkansas, is the man in the lighter blue trunks. And here they go. Bob Burns off and Les Thornton down. Thornton has decided because of the height and the size of the big wrestlers, the heavyweights, that he is better off than the juniors. And probably you can explain that difficult task of moving from one weight division to another.
Thornton brought down weighs, I would say, he may weigh in tonight. I didn't hear him announce it. I would say 220, 30 pounds.
I would say, yeah.
But the guys he's been wrestling, look at some of the guys here, we're probably averaging here in just the Texas area. I would say the men average 250, 260.
The heavyweights, yeah.
People like Brody. And Thornton's been wrestling a long time. He's definitely one of the top seeds in this tournament. And I believe he'll win it.
It's very difficult. We see it in boxing when a boxer begins to grow and get stronger, larger, and he tries to make that step up. It's very difficult to make that in any sport, that step to the next level of attainment.
Well, one example is Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
He's made a step up, and his last fight was a real tough one.
And so the same exists in sports like in the wrestling world. That's Thornton, who's very quick. Now, he weighs about 220, 225 normally. Extremely quick and extremely strong.
Les Thornton is definitely one of the top ranks. You look at Alberto Madril. He won it at one time. And Al's, he's right on the borderline of a heavyweight.
A little taller.
Right.
Which gives him a little advantage. That's also Les is not that tall, which is probably a little problem to him.
Be an excellent match if those two meet down there towards the finals of this tournament.
Yeah. It really would. By the way, I understand from what we're watching here is a good move by Burns, and right back in is Les Thornton, that Mark Lewin, as you recall, before the championship fight the other night, the championship match with David Von Erich and Harley Race, earlier in the evening, attacked David Von Erich. Mark Lewin hit him with a chair. In fact, he and I were talking here when he smashed him. That there has been a fine levied. You know about the fine and what the amount is.
That's right, Bill. I was watching this match. I'd helped referee that tag team bout. And when everyone here saw how wild it was, and I saw David talking to you, and we were having a discussion with Kerry and Brody. Next thing I know, I see David laying on the floor, and Lewin's leaving. There's no call for those kind of things going on. David was wrestling the World Championships that night.
Could have really finished him off.
That's right. It was possible he couldn't even return.
Right.
And I recommended to the NWA that Lewin be fined. There was a fine authorized by the NWA of $1,000.
Toe right now by Thornton.
And the fine hasn't been paid yet. But, you know, there's a time limit on that, and they'll either pay it or he will not be allowed to wrestle.
Until he has paid it. Well, it's certainly, as you said, a dastardly thing to do, as Thornton has this inside step over toe hold right now on Bob Burns. And, of course, watch that count on Burns' shoulder. It did not really affect the outcome of the championship match. Fortunately, that the blow came in such a way as it dazed David, but it didn't have that effect. And that was unfortunate that David was counted out, but that was the only thing you could do. Got a count of 2.
Cradle hold right there is a real good move by Thornton. Well, I'll tell you, David come as close as any man could come without walking out here legally with that belt. He left here with it, but legally with the belt. And I would like to see him win it just as much as anyone else here in this auditorium or anyone that will see this match later on TV.
There's a great moves here by Thornton and Burns. Really classic match.
But as Les Thornton, he's well known, you know, all over the world for his wrestling. One time, the tag team champions, he and Tony Charles.
Right.
They were here before.
And teammate.
Right. One of the most popular tag teams.
But David, getting so engrossed in the match last week and being counted out for standing on the apron with that sleep hole on Harley Race. I suppose you get to a point where the concentration, you lose really contact with what you're doing where you are.
Well, Race tried to pull a very illegal tactic, which we've seen before. That's right. He did it on Kevin. Luckily, Dave's got the long legs, and he knew what was coming. If that would have happened, the match would have ended right there. Dave lost his cool, which he had all reason to. And what he was telling me, we had a big debate in the ring after it was over. He thought he had a 10 count, and he thought I was counting him because he's on the apron, but I was counting him to break the hold, which, as we saw, the sleeper is a very, it could cause injury just like any other hold.
Yes.
That's right. Unfortunately, it ended the way it did. If not, I would say David would be the world champion here.
He certainly has his match going for him. You're closer to it than we are, and we're pretty close.
Excellent move right there. It's fireman's carry by Thornton.
He must have in his repertoire, I guess he knows every hold in the book, because he is certainly the type of wrestler who would develop all these. Very intelligent, scientifically oriented.
Right. Notice right here he's counting the hip mirror. Thornton
countering it, right.
Right, he's counting right here.
And he couldn't handle it there.
Good move by Burns. But you notice Thornton, he wrestles to the caliber of wrestler he's wrestling here. Working on his legs, another fireman's carry. He's found a weakness, and he'll stay right with it. Thornton, his upper body strength is tremendous.
Yeah.
Tremendous. I've seen him suplex men twice his size.
He rather plays that down, too. He doesn't talk about it very much.
No, well, he's in a business that he knew when he got into it he was going to be on his own, and he represents himself very well, and that's where those moves come in and all the holds he does know. It benefits him when he's in there with someone the size of Bruiser Brody or the Spoiler or Mark Lewin.
So they continue to check it, and you have to think that Thornton right now has the edge in this match. Over the ropes. Leg over the bottom ropes. So Thornton and Burns go back to play. Back to play sounds like football. Les Thornton, junior heavyweight, and he's looking to the chance to be the world champion in that division.
He wins that, it'd be the first time that Texas tells you the caliber of wrestlers we have here. Alma Drill was here when he won it. Les Thornton's here wrestling with some of the top wrestlers in the state, and he could possibly be the next junior world champion.
Right. And we have the American Heavyweight Championship here.
We have the American champion. We recently had the American Tag Team champions, and it's very possible, I think, soon we will have a world champion here.
I would think that certainly the Von Erichs have a good opportunity, one of the Kevin or David. Well, this bout features Les Thornton and Robert Burns. And Bob right now is a problem, because Thornton has stayed pretty well in command of the entire evening here. Coming up, Tim Brooks and El Halcon. That'll be the TV main event. And then later on, Lewin and Kevin Von Erich.
TV main event's going to be an excellent.
Yes. Halcon and Brooks, there's no love lost there.
I think Burns has got a little frog in his arm.
Looks like it. It popped in there on that knee. Taken down by Thornton. Right back on top. It's hard to handle somebody like Thornton. You can't get a hold of him because he's the way he's built and his strength.
When you're the size of Burns, your only hope is to out-wrestling, which makes your chances very slim.
Against Thornton, right.
But Burns is a very dedicated man himself. As you can see, he's not going to give up out there. And he's going to try and get from getting pinned in this match and hopefully win a decision. And if he can catch Thornton making a mistake, he might capitalize on it.
David, you've been around wrestling, amateur and professional, now a long time. It's been a great part of your life, hasn't it?
since I was 7 years old.
That's a good part of your life.
That's right. And I still love it. I hope I'm around till I'm about 70 years old.
Well, Burns is maneuvering around. Look at that quickness, though, in the takedown by Thornton. What a problem working with that guy. And just seeing him without seeing the other wrestlers, though we know Al Madrill very well, that I would think that Thornton's got to be one of the favorites in that junior heavyweight division.
Definitely.
He handled himself so well against the heavyweights.
When you watch Thornton in action, he's always about 3 moves ahead.
Yeah,
I don't believe he's always thinking 3 moves ahead of the other guy. I would think right now in this standing wrist lock, Thornton's thinking ahead. What he's going to counter with or what he's going to come back with.
Set. So Burns has got a little advantage now, and he's going to take advantage of the advantage. Pop it as much problem to Thornton as he possibly can. Thornton, with his strength and ability to get up, riding that arm down. Burns is trying to get an advantage by weakening one part of the attack. Forearm smash. That's legal. Oh, tough shiver right there.
That is one of the... He throws that upper forearm as hard as any man in professional wrestling, even if he is a lightweight.
Yeah, it drops his man very quickly. He doesn't travel very far. It's like a good boxer. Those lethal knockout blows don't have to travel very far.
There's a side suplex.
Well, Burns, to his credit, is battling back, trying to stay in there.
Burns is doing a heck of a job just to stay in this match right now.
And there's Thornton winning.
I was going to say, if he survived that, it would be unreal.